Hello, welcome to another live session. Uh, today we are going to create a progress bar. We will use the pictures to do that. So we will create a new window to hold the progress bar, and we will show how to change the percentage of the bar with some code and animate the progress bar. So let's start. So what we have, we will start today with a test environment. So we will use this graphical user interface project. So this is just a test environment so that I use to create some windows and do some tests before moving to another projects. So we can use, for example, this window. Mhm. Or we can create a new one. So let's reuse that window. So let me check which window is that. The name that there is only one scene here. Window we have, okay, it's called other window. So let's rename it, refactor, rename, and we will call it progress bar. Oh, okay, this is the new name, so we are going to reuse. Hmm. Okay, in the entity definition, I need to change it. So, mm, mm, where is the other? The other. Let me find other. Find backwards. Other. Okay. Here. So we have changed the name. So this is other window. Okay. Control save. Let's add some header, some title. So there is no here. So let me. This is the other window. So we can also change the name here. This is right now is the UI progress window, and its parent is the camera. So let's change here the name. Okay, we are going to add some children here. So the progress bar will have starting with a title. So let's add title PG. So we need to create this new entity. So let's copy and paste this one. So the new title, Control V. Let me do title progress bar. The parent is the progress bar. And there are no children. Okay, so here is the progress bar window with its definition. So this is the file where we define the different components inside. Um, its parent is the camera, so when we interact with the camera, the window will be changed. And it has, at the moment, only one children that is called title PG, progress bar, and it's defined here with the progress bar is the parent, and we need to create this title progress bar mm, entity. So let me use, for example, this one, copy and paste, use the name, and here we have the title Where is it? Mm, okay, title. I have not text child method. Oh, okay. Why I have copy and paste the wrong information because it's the same. Yes, it's twice, so let's rename it. Refactor, rename, Control V. Ah, it's not working. Okay, let me copy. This is the title. Title progress bar. Okay. Here. Title progress bar. Let me confirm. Title progress bar. Okay. So here we add the name. So more or less it will be this one. Okay, I don't want to select, drag or whatever. So it's a static header. And let me add the here. So this is progress bar. Okay, so let's check. Okay, we have here the progress bar. Let me change the I'm going to change the font so we can change the font. Let me check in secret we have done. So let's check in the other project that we have already done all of this stuff. So we use this one and this one. All of this one is needed. Okay. Okay. Okay, we have changed the font. This is still very small. Let me change this. This is the top left, and the height it must be bigger. This is twice. Okay, more or less we have a new window called progress bar, so we can interact with it. Oh, oops, very strange. What has happened here? It's broken. It seems that it's mm, with 8.1. It's the first time I see that behavior, so I will need to debug later what has happened with the title. Maybe a little bit the offset. So let's move one. Okay, more or less. We have a new window here. This is the progress bar. So what we want, it interacts with the camera, so we can zoom it, the camera, the whole scene. So what we want to add right now is a picture, a new component. So let me check the list, what we have today, to-do list, interact, so creating the window. We need to create a progress bar component. So let's do that. So we have here the progress bar. This is the window, and we have one children here, and we will add later a new children. Yes, that it will be the progress bar itself. So Let's start with the children. So let me create a new. Let's copy and paste. Control V. And this is the progress bar itself. So it's the progress bar. Okay, this is the progress bar. So it will be below of this one. So 0, 2, 3. So it will be at, for example, 4. From 40% high till maybe 80. So another 40% size. And it could be more or less 10% on the left margin, and it could be 90% width, so we will leave another 10% on the right. Okay, it will have a new component, so the new component will be called progress bar. We have not yet created it, so we need to create an entity inside here. So we have the window with only one children, that is the title. So we will add a new children that is called, for example, user interface progress bar. And we need to create the entity itself. So the entity, the progress bar, it's here. And the definition file, the parent is the same, UE progress bar window, and the definition file is progress bar dot meta. Okay, so I cannot run it still because there will be an error if I run the program right now. So let's create it a new components, new package. No, sorry, new class that is called progress bar. Okay, so we have here the progress bar. Here is the code. So right now I can run it. So there is nothing, so it's an empty class, so nothing will be thrown. So no changes. It works. There are no errors, so that's nice. So let's start to add some behavior here. So one thing that it will need is that it will need a picture. So we will add uh, the way that I was thinking is to use two pictures. One, so let's start with two pictures. Or okay, it's more or less I have defined it in an atlas. So let me show where I define it at the moment. So we have this picture. This is the picture. So we have two different progress bar. The first one is full with all the elements inside, and the second one is empty. So what we are going to do is just to create the illusion that the second one is filled with these items inside of the progress bar. So one easy way to do that is just um, to draw part of each window. So if we draw only the left part of the first image, for example, the 30%, and the 7% remaining of the second one, we will have a mix from both pictures that it will simulate that the bar is being filled. So it's defined right now as an atlas, so there are two of them, so let's define it as an atlas. So this is an image, so not too much here to add. It's an picture, so let's add here in the progress bar. I think the title we don't need it, so let's add here that it has an image. In the property called also image, and the picture it will be scroll bar number 1 PNG. Okay, so this is what it will do. Just nothing to do here. So let me add the constructor progress bar. It's I use reflection, so it's empty. And let's add some getters and setters. So let me add here. Okay, source, getters and setters. There is only one property, so just create them. Okay, so right now we have this one. It's not using the picture, so what we want to do is just to draw the picture inside the progress bar. So let's move to the drawing system. So the drawing system, it has a lot of done tasks here, and one of them is this one. So we can reuse this one. That's its simple image, just, and it's called here is progress bar. Progress bar. Okay, so if we have a progress bar, so let's check if the class is there. Import the progress bar, imported. So if progress bar is not null, so that means that we have that component. We are going to draw using the progress bar, using the component itself and the affine transformation. So we need to create this new method. So let's move to the list where they are, reusing the simple image here. This is it, and we have changed the name. This is a progress bar component. So let's why progress bar, no, progress bar. Let's import. No, why? Oh, have made a mistake, or what's happened here? Progress bar. Ah, okay. I'm misspelling progress. So this instead of this one is this is called progress bar, and what we need is to get the picture from progress bar. Okay, here. Okay, let me zoom it. Oh, sorry, I have left the program running, so nothing was shown. Okay, so the progress bar here, I need to get the picture, so get image is the getter. So okay, so we have with this code is just using is the same as if we try to draw a simple image. So with this code we are just drawing the full picture, both scroll bars. So the progress bar, it has only one property, that is the picture, that we use the entity definition just to provide it. And when it gets the picture, here it will be drawn. So let's check if it's okay. I need to adjust. It was 10%, so I think that here is the size, it must be 80%, so I need to reduce this one. Progress bar, yes, it's only 80%. Okay, So it's drawing both the fillet and the empty progress bar. So not we need the first thing that we need to do is just to select only one of them. So this is an atlas picture that it has two different pictures. So we need to select one of them. So when you provide an atlas, you need to provide how many pictures are in one row and how many pictures in column. So more or less you need to define the small area that belongs to one of them. So here we can use just let's for example say that the progress bar has the number of progress bars. So just progress bar, an integer, then it will be the number, so tiles per row. So in one row, how many pictures there are in one column. So here we need to fill the values. So in one row, there is only one picture each row, and we have two pictures. So in one column, there are two pictures. So this is what we need just to define how many pictures are in the picture. So one in one row there is only one. In one column there are one, two. Easy code. So let's add here the new getters and setters. Select all. Okay. So with this information, we need to go here to the print a thin progress bar to say, okay, I don't want to print everything. I want to print a small part of the picture. So this this method draws the full picture, but we have other methods. So okay, so we have two of them that just draw a part of them. So one of them is only providing this is just to draw one of them. So for example, just to provide the source. And that's this one, that is what we need to use, provide the source and destination. So let's start with the only with the source. So progress bar, the drawing. So instead of this one, what happened? Instead of this one, we are going to print only part of the picture. So we need to provide the values. So the object, the picture itself, the transformation, and the next values are the source. Okay, this is prepared just to draw an atlas. So let's say that the source it will be, it's in percentage. So let me check what it needs is x components, minimum and maximum. So just draw from 0 to 100%. And when we say the y coordinate, as we have two pictures, if we want, for example, draw the first one, it will be between 0 and 0.5. If we want to draw the second one, it will be between 0.5 to 1. So let's draw the first one, the full picture. Okay, so this code must draw only one of the two progress bar. So it's drawing the full bar because it's between 0 and 0.5 from the original picture. If we change this one, so if we say that from the original, the white component, it's from 0 to 1, it will draw the second picture. Okay, this is the empty one. And if you messed with here and you provide incorrect values, for example, let's do this one, and this a quarter, so just draw the middle of the picture so you get part of both. So the bottom half part of the first picture and the top half part of the second. So you need to take care. So that's why we need the values here just to know how many pictures there are. So let's change this one. Just instead of providing the values here, let me add some code here. So this is the source. Let me source x1. So we have said that one limit is this one and the other limit is 2. So we assume that it's 100% because we suppose that it's only one per row. But if not, we need to check this one. So, mhm. So okay, let's do the same for the y component, and it could be 0.5. So we can change this using the parameters. Okay, I think it's smaller enough just to be drawn in one line. So what we need. So what we need is the index. So let's imagine that this is the index of the picture that you want to draw. So 0 for the first one, 1 for the second one, and if there are more, you can choose more of them. Okay, so imagine that it's the one. So because both using the wall picture, this will be, so what we need to check is the first thing that we need to know is to check this picture in which row and in which column is located. So let me reuse some code here, here. Okay, we have this one. Okay, so the tile row, so at which tile row is located. So for example, index 0, it will be row 0. And the other one, so let me change to imagine that there are 4. So let's move here just to draw something of this one. So let's imagine, no, here, how, yes, I want to draw. What's not drawing? What's happening here? Pencil, okay, okay, no, not this type of pencil. Pen. Mm. What is doing today? Pencil normal. No, I don't want this one. Crayon. Mm, okay, sorry, I have. Okay, let's move to the other. Okay, new one. Let's zoom it. Not this way. So imagine that. Oh no, not that size. Imagine that we have 4 pictures. So imagine that we have 4 pictures that we want to draw in this atlas. So we have this one, we have the second, third, and the fourth. So you have an index. Mhm. An index that it could be, for example, number 1. So this is number 0, 1, 2, 3. So not very good numbers, these ones. So let's do some draw here. So this one, and this is a triangle, for example. So in order to know where is it located, what we need to know is how many pictures are in one row and how many there are in one column. So what we do is just to divide mm, smaller. Okay, so the index smaller. So the index. So the index it will be um, okay, no, the row it will be the index divided by the number of rows. So okay, so if we do, this is the row, so if we do an integer division, for example, if it's 0, 0 divided by 2 is 0, 1 divided by 2 is 0, because we are rounding down. It's um, when we have 0, 1, 2, 2 divided by 2 is 1, and 3 divided by 2 is 1. The same way, more or less, it's for the column. What we use is the remaining of the division. So, for example, for number 0, 0 divided by 2, the remaining of the division is 0, so it's column 0. 1 divided by 2, the remaining is 1, so column 1. 2, this one, divided by 2 is an exact division, so the remainder is 0, so column 0. So and for the 3 the column is 1, so we use this one, index divided by the elements that we have in a row. So let's move back to the program to do that. So tile row, so it's the index divided by how many pictures we have in a row. So tiles per row, and the column it's the remaining part. So we need the define the tiles per row. The progress bar itself can provide that value because we have provide, so get tiles per row. So how many tiles per row we have? So tiles per row we have 1. Okay. In this case it's very simple because we have only 2 pictures. Okay. So that gives you the number, the row on the column of that one. So here we can choose from picture number 0 or picture number 1. Okay, so it could be better if we have, for example, in the same atlas in the future, we have, instead of 2 pictures, we can have 20 pictures or more, because you can change the style of the progress bar. So this way is just managing the atlas. So the row it's this one and this one. So what we need is just to translate this tile row to a position here. So when tile row is 0, the position is 0. But if it's not 0, we need to multiply by the size of each row. So the size of each row, let me add here. So tile width, so this is the width, is 100%, so whole picture divided by the number of pictures that we have in one row. So 1 divided by 1 is 1, so that's why it provides only 100%, but imagine that we have 4, so it will be a quarter. So this multiply by the tile width. Okay, and the end it's the same plus 1, so it's the tile row plus 1. So for example, if this is 0, 0 multiplied by 100% is 0, and 0 plus 1 is 1, multiplied by 100% is 100%. So between 0 and 100%. So that's for uh, all the pictures. So the same way we do for the height. So height is calculated divided by tiles per column. So how many? In this case, we have 2 columns. Let me add here tiles per column. So in this case, we have 2 columns, so that's why the height of each picture is 0.5. So this is 0.5. So we do more or less the same. So tile height times the tile height, and the same. So in for the first picture, the tile no sorry tile col. So no mistake here. This is the column and this is the row. The rows are multiplied by the height. So if we are in row 0 times the height 0.5 is 0, and the same plus 1 for the other value. So this is plus 1. Okay. So if we, for example, index 1, with index 1 is 1 divided by 1, so row is 1. No, the row is 1 divided by 1 is 1. Okay, yes, of course, if the is the second one. It 1 divided by the remaining is 0, so it's row 1, column 0. So for row 1, column 0, or column 0 times the width is 0, plus 1, this is the full picture, and the row is 1, so 1 times the height is 0.5, it will be 0.5, and this will be 1 plus 1 2 times 0.5, it will be 1, so it's between 0. Okay, so this works. So just managing, so just changing this parameter here, we can draw. So this will draw the empty one. Okay, here the empty one, and changing to 0, it will draw the full one. Okay, okay, so that's working. So what we need to do is just we need more or less we need in the progress bar we need to know the percentage. So it's what a progress bar does. So it needs a float value about the percentage at which state it is. So it could be from 0 to 100%. So let's add here that right now percentage. So let's start with percentage. Let's say that is 25%, just not to be neither 0 or 100%. So when it works, it must draw a quarter of the progress bar. So what we need is just to provide some getters and setters here. So let's add them. Okay, so that is what we need to draw. So in order to draw, we will get here, so a float. This is the percentage. It will be the progress bar dot get the percentage. So this percentage will let us know uh, how much part of the window we need for each one. So the index, it's not needed here. This is code from just getting the values from getting data from progress bar. And this is, for example, this is the full bar, and we will need to do the same for the other one. So we will need to copy and paste this one for the empty one. But the empty one, it's okay, the full var is 1 and the empty, no, sorry, the empty is 1 and the full is 0. Okay, yes. Okay, let's solve this way. So, maybe we need to create some methods for this one. Okay, so we have two blocks of code here, one to draw the full bar, one to draw the empty bar. So just providing the index of the picture, we can choose which one we want. So later we will add more bars here just to show that it works with more pictures. So it's not limited to only two. So you just will need to provide which is the index of the full bar and which is the index of the empty bar. So if we try to draw this one, it will draw the empty bar because it will try to draw the full bar and later it will draw the empty bar. So it's drawing on top. Okay, but you will see the full bar. And that's why, because it's drawn with transparency. So the empty bar is it's the same, but it has transparency here. That's why you can see the full bar. So we don't want to draw all of it. So we want to draw only part. The percentage is what we want to draw from each one. So so going back to here. So if we have the progress bar and we have a percentage here, this is the percentage. So we want to, this is the full and this is the empty. If we do not provide more information, we will draw both bars, one on top of the other. So what we need is just to draw not the full picture, we just need to draw only half or a part of the picture. So what we need to provide is two steps. We need to provide the destination is not 100% of the full picture, and the source it's part of the picture, not the whole picture. So let's move back to the code. So here we are just we can only impact the source. Okay, so we cannot impact the destination. So we need to change the method. So as I said before, we have another one here that is the source and the destinations. It's adding four more components. So let's use the same but providing four more components. So not providing only the source, but right now I'm going to provide the destination also. So destinations. So right now the code without doing anything, the destination is 0.0f. This is 100%. And for the y component, it's the same. So 0 and 1. So there is no change here. So doing this thing, it will draw the same because we are drawing the full picture I mean that we are going to use the full destination. Okay, so there is no change here doing. Uh, if you use the 100% on both components, so you get the same output. So let's start doing some changes here. Instead of using for the height, we want to use the full because this is an horizontal progress bar. So we want always to use between 0 and maximum height, that is 100%. So let me do just a small check here. So the destination for the full bar, it will be between 0 and half of the bar. And the remaining here, it will be for the empty bar. Okay, so doing just this change, instead of drawing in the full area, it will use only half of the area. So you will see right now two different tile bars, one close to the other. I don't know why. It must be here. This is the full on the left. No, let me check the full. The full is the 0, so full 0 is this one. I said between 0 and 0 0.5, correct. But why this one between 0 0.5 and 1 has not been drawn? Mhm. Okay, 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 okay. Okay, I know. It's always the same. Mm, you need to pass the value and not a reference. If not, the drawing system is changing the transformations and it's not working for the other. Okay, so this is drawn the full between 0 and 0 0.5 and empty between 0 0.5 and 1. Instead of these values, we can use the percentage that we have got here. So we can say, okay, draw between 0 and the percentage, and the other one between the percentage of 1. So remember that percentage is right now 25%. So this will be part of what we need. Oh, okay. I think there is some error here. Float 0. Okay, okay. This is a comma. If not, it has used 0 as. Okay, let's try again. Okay, so this is 25% and this is 75%. So it's more or less part of what we want to achieve, but what we want right now is to modify also the picture that we are drawing. So it's not only to manage the destination to be okay, not drawing it from 0 to 1 is only part, so it's working fine, but I want to draw only part of the original picture, not the full original picture, because it's not, if it's a stretch here and it's not, it doesn't seem an only one picture. So we need to use the percentage also to interact with the source. So the source, it will be for the height, it will be the same height, so it's not changing anything. But the source here, the white, the X component, so this is the width. So the width, it starts at this point and ends at this point. So tile width is the width, but instead of that width, we want only this percentage. So more or less, what we need to change is here, instead of 1, that is the full picture, we want to only draw a percentage of the picture. So percentage is between 0 and 1, so if it's a quarter, it will be a quarter of the picture. Okay, so a quarter of the width. So that will solve the left picture, the full picture. It will draw. Okay, as you can see, the full picture is drawn as expected, The empty picture is still drawing here on the complete bar, so we need just to draw only part of the picture. So for in the empty bar, the same way, here we are drawing between 0 and 1. So more or less imagine that here there is a 0. So we are drawing between 0 and 1, and we don't want that. We want to start at percentage of the picture. So let's do it. Okay, and you have here the progress bar. So let's change here the value. So instead of, let me add, for example, 79% of the progress bar, just to check that it's working. So we can manage from outside. We can manage the percentage of the bar. And this bar is a special one, so maybe we need to do some more tricks just to draw full areas and not half of the bar, because but right now it's working more or less. So, and the problem here is that it starts from the most left part to the right, so including this heart and other, it's part of the 100%. So more or less at 80% it will seem that it's full, but it will not be full. So this is uh, a bit more complicated. So we can in some way add this padding here on the left and the right, just to allow to to use some different areas. Or another way that you can do that is just to use the trick of drawing two pictures, just to draw only inside of this area without the head and the borders, and imagine that the window is the supporting uh, mark, and you don't need just to get all those details. Okay, so what we need, okay, so let's try to add more pictures. So let's move to just to this one. Okay, yeah, here I have the pictures. So let's resize this picture size, so it will be 800. So I'm going to use double. No, not that way. Is the height. The height. Oh, is this one. 2, 8. Okay, precise. Okay, so let me add here. This is 140, 140 and 70, so it's 210, 210 here. So let's copy, duplicate this layer, and duplicate layer, and duplicate layer. So this one, move, no, is this one? Okay, is this one, and this one. So right now we have four bars. So let's use, I have here another one here, just to use this one. So just to mm, okay, so let's resize this one, duplicate layer, and we have two of them. Uh, layer too much size. Let me copy and paste. And I'm adding, why it's not, okay. I'm just creating the full bar. Another way that we can use is just to start drawing these small components inside of the bar. But okay, at the moment it's very easy to work with two bars, one fillet and one empty, and just to do the trick, just to draw part of them. So okay, so file save. So we have right now we have four bars, different bars. So let me export. Okay, I have here export. Mm, it has been exported to quick. So let me refresh. Okay, let's move back to the editor. Let me refresh the project. Refresh and let's check. Mm, okay, we have the picture here. The the atlas right now it has four progress bar instead of one. So in the definition here, instead of two, we need to add four. So let me just show how it will fail if you don't provide correctly the number of pictures in the atlas. It will work incorrectly. As you see, it's drawing. It thinks that there are two pictures, but there are four, so it's not drawing it correctly. So let me say that here it's four. So just provided the right value, it will draw as expected. Okay. And if we want to change it, what we can do is to provide here uh, to provide here the indexes of the full bar index. For example, it will be 0, 1, 2. For example, the 2. This is the 2. For the empty, it's the same. So in this case, the empty var index, it will be, for example, 1, 0, 1, or 0, 1, 2, or the 3. It could be the 3. Okay, so let us add these properties to the here to the project. So this is private integer. Oops, not integer. Okay, and we need some private. We need some getters and setters here also, as we have done before. So select all, create, because we will need to call those getters here. So for the empty bar, it will be the progress bar dot get empty bar index. For the full, where is the full? Here. We will call the property get full bar index. Okay, so that's changes. Those changes will change the behavior, and we are choosing the second progress bar. So you can have multiple pictures inside of an atlas, and later you can select the picture that you want just in the definition, or even you can do changes during the game, so you can switch from one bar to another bar, so and do a lot of things. So let's improve this one, just adding some offset here, some padding on the left and on the right and top. So let's add some padding. So let me move back and take notes of Here, let me check some numbers here. So we have, this is the picture. So the picture is, the size is, okay, no, let's zoom it. It's, so if you drag here from here, so this is 400, 400 width, and the height is, okay, it's 70. 70 is the height. Okay, but for the white for the X, for the Y, we don't need any padding because both pictures are the same. But we need to know this offset, that we need to, this offset is not needed. It will not be calculated used in the percentage. So okay, let's try it again. So this percentage is, okay, it's only six pixels, 6 pixels on the left. So padding on the left is 6 pixels. On the right we have a lot of it. So in the right it's 64. 64. Okay, 64. So those are the paddings that we cannot use in order to draw the pictures or to calculate the percentage. Okay, so let's go back to the editor. So it's the first time that I manage a padding here, but let's try to do it. So cities we can provide in pixels, or we can provide, I think it's better to provide in percentage. So it will be a float. It could be a float array. Okay, so this is the padding, the area of the scroll bar that it's not used for the percentage. So we can use 6 for the left, 64 for the right, top 0 and down 0. So this could be the numbers, but 6 divided by 400. So let me calculate it. 6 divided by 400, 0.015, and 64 divided by 400 pixels, 0.16. Okay, so these are the paddings. So let's add here in the progress bar a new it's more related with the picture, so maybe we can add here, okay, let's add here private float array padding. Okay, and as we have done before, let's add some getters and setters. Okay, okay, so let me add here, this is left and right, up, down. So let's move here. So when we have here, okay, let me add the same code as before. So from the origin, I have said, so okay, draw from 0 to the percentage from the origin picture. And for the empty bar, from the percentage to 1. So it's calculated only. So the percentage is the percentage of the whole window. But right now, if the percentage is the percentage only of part of the window, so we need to calculate a new percentage. So So here we get the padding is the progress bar get padding. Okay, so let's add here left padding is equal to padding 0 and the right padding is in the position 1. Okay, let's add the other ones just in case for the future. So this is the upper up padding, down, and they are positions 2 and 3 on the array. Okay, so this is the padding, and we need to know how to use them. So the percentage is here, this is an horizontal bar, so that's why we don't use the up and down padding. So the percentage of the picture is different of the percentage of the bar. So this is the this is percentage, yes, okay, this is will be the percentage. Let me change. What we need is just to percentage of the image. What we need to provide here is the percentage of the picture and not the percentage of the progress bar. So the progress bar, it will be from 0 to 100, but we need to calculate the percentage of the picture. So percentage is only of the area without the paddings. So let's move this down. The percentage is the width. The width is 100 minus, oh, okay, sorry. We subtract the left and the right padding. Okay, so this is the area of the percentage. Okay, the percentage. So when imagine that we add 0%. So when we add 0% of the progress bar, we want to provide it with left padding. So the percentage of the image, the picture is always left padding plus, and when it's full, it will be left plus right padding. No, plus. Okay, so let me add here another. So the picture is okay. Percentage image minimum is left padding. So left padding is the 0. Percentage maximum, it will be left padding. No, it will be 1. So the full picture minus the right padding. So this is the maximum. So we are between of them. So the percentage of the image that we need to draw, we need to interpolate between of them. So it will be the left padding. Oh, okay, let's use the minimum plus the percentage of the range. In the range is between maximum and minimum. So this is the area. So maximum minus minimum is the 100% minus the left and right padding. So okay, this is the percentage of the image instead of the percentage of the progress bar. So this percentage of the picture is what we need just to draw it. Okay, so let's try. Let's try. Mhm. Okay, so this is the 79%. So let's do some checks how to test it. Okay, in order to test it, what we can do is to draw only the full bar, the fillet bar. So I'm not going to draw this one. I want to draw only the fillet. Mm, Okay, this is 79%. So let me draw 100% bar. So 100% bar, it must draw all minus the padding. So it will draw all without the heart on the right padding. Okay, so this area is not part of the percentage, so it's not drawn by the fillet bar, it's drawn by the empty bar. And if we draw this bar, the fillet at 0, we need to draw at least the left border. So let me draw this one just to draw 0%, 0% of the bar. So it will draw only, okay, only the border. So this is 0, and I think this is 0. I don't know if I can run 2. Let me try it. If I draw 2 of them, so this is the, okay, sorry, I have too many windows here, so I don't know if they can. So let's wait. Okay, you can see one of them. Mm, okay, only one of them can be drawn. Okay, no problem. Okay, so it's working. So let's move it back. Okay, so I don't know if we can reuse some code here. I think it's the same code. No, it's not the same code. It's not the same code. So because here and here they are different, so it's not the same. It's quite similar, but it's not the same. So I think it will leave as two blocks of code. Not sure if in some way we can do some loop over here. So this is for horizontal progress bars. Maybe we need, that's why we are not using here the percentage here. So if you remember here we have a 0. This is just to show it. So here we are not using, this is the fill bar. So it's also important to know that we are filling it from the left, from filling from left to right. So it could be also filled in the opposite way, from right to left. So in that case, we need to do some changes here. So it's not easy to get to have a very generic version of this progress bar that fits all the situations, because as I said, it can be filled from right to left, left to right, bottom to down to up, or upwards or downwards. So different behavior, but okay, I think that the progress bar with, let me add here, okay, this is a good one, 100% fillet, so 100%. It's a nice way to see that the progress bar is fillet in the middle. So 3, 5, there are 11 bars, so this 3, 4, 5, 5.5 from 11 bars. So it's correct. So And what if we wanted to use not a continuum progress bar that is increasing each percentage, so step by step, so that we want to fill some only complete bars, so not half of the bar. So in that case, what we will need it is to know the number of updates. So the number of updates. So let me check. It's just a different way to do that. So imagine that we know that in this picture we have 11. The fillet bar have 11 components. So let's add that information here to the picture just to say, okay, this is the percentage. So let me say that we have the steps. So this is just the percentage step is 1 divided by 11. So it's 1/11th. Let me calculate this one. I can provide in float or I can provide an integer and do, okay, maybe just provide that there are percentage steps, 11 steps. Okay, so let's try it. Let's try it. So the percentage, instead of this one, I can provide here integer percentage steps. No, percentage steps. Okay, let's add here as always getter and setter. So as always, and let's try to use that in order to draw the window. Hello, señorita Lara. So let's use that. So instead of having, for example, we are 50% of the bar and we are drawing 5 elements and a half. So I want to draw only whole elements, no half elements, so full elements. So, and we know that there are 11. So because I have the picture, so I can count 3, 6, 9, 11. So let's use that information when we draw it. So uh, we have the percentage here that is 100% in this case, and we have the percentage of the picture. Okay, but the percentage goes from this percentage goes from 0 to 100%, but we don't want that. If we have steps, we want to be 0 when it is 1/11th, so imagine that is 10%. It moves to the second bar and that way. So so we want to draw only a step. So let's draw it. Let's draw it. So so let's do a new one. So if we have, okay, no. Right now we have the progress bar and we have 50%. We draw some full elements, but here we are drawing half element and we want to draw only full elements. So in some way this percentage must be changed to a step. So the percentage is calculated this way. So it goes from 0 to 1. This is 0. So 100% is the full bar, 0% is empty. And instead we want 11 steps. Oh. So we want to be, for example, If it's below this value, for example, this here, so if it's below, just draw 0. When you reach this value, for example, 10%, uh, you can draw 1. So this is a step function, yes, that will have 11 steps. So it will have the steps. So what we need just is to, instead of have a continuous function that is drawing part of the elements, just to say, okay, no, if you need to be over 10% in order to draw the first one. So only when you are above this one, you draw the first one. When you are over this one, you add a new one. So only when you are over those steps, you can draw a new one. So how we can do that? If we divide, so we can divided the 100%, 11 steps. So 100. Okay, if we divide by the number of steps, we have the step size. If we divide the wall by the step size, okay, so more or less is that if you have 100% or 1 divided by the number of steps, so imagine that is 10, so 1 divided by 10 is 0.1. Okay, okay, is mm, mhm, it's difficult to draw. 0.1. So when we divide, for example, 45 divided by 0.1, it will be 4. 4 and something, but we don't care of the something. What we want is just to, it will be 4 dot 5. Okay, why? I don't like too much this one. So this will be 0.5, but we want, I want to care only of this part on the 4. And later we calculate, we multiplied again the 4 times the step. So we will get 0.5. 0.5. So that's way to get the smaller amount. That's one way. I don't know if, okay, let's try it. Okay, so let's do it. So let's move back to the editor. So this is the percentage. This is the percentage of the picture. So the percentage of the picture, percentage. So I don't want to use this one. So first we want to know the step. The step is 1, that is the full, divided by progress bar get number of steps. In our case is 11. So this is the percentage step size. Okay, so if we divide percentage divided by percentage step, and we want to get only in the floor, so I think there is the floor division here, here, no. Floor of a value, return the largest closest positive double value that is less than or equal of the argument. I think it's this one, yes, and the floor from this one. So this will get the 4, and we need to multiply again by the step. So this is the new percentage. So let's cast the float. So in the case of 50%, so we get the 50% divided by 11. So it will be more or less 5 something, and we get only the integer part. So we multiply again, and we will get multiplying by the step percentage, we get an exact part of the picture. So let's try it. So if you remember, just trying to draw a half of the bar, it was drawing 5.5. So let's do that and let's check. What is expected is that it draws only 5 instead of okay, this is 5. So in order to draw one more, you need to yes, the percentage must be, so let me check. 5 divided by 11 is 45. So in order to draw the 6 divided by 11 is 54. So when you reach 54%, it will draw the next one. So let's do it step by step. So 53. So with 53, again, only 5 bars will be drawn. Okay, only 5. So when I reach the 44, let me check exactly. So it's 6 bars divided by 11, 6 bars divided by 11, so it's 54.54, okay, forever. So it's 54, so let's round up to 50/50. And with this value, six, 6 elements will be drawn. So let's try it and check it. So we have 3 and 6. So right now we can provide the percentage that you want. It doesn't matter, and it only a full elements will be drawn. So this is just in case that you want to use this behavior just not to draw part of the element. So this is a different type of. So let's try with another value. So for example, 89%. So let me use the calculator. 89, so 89, so it's drawing, okay, 369. And let me check, 80%, so 0.8. Why this one? Okay, no, okay, times 11, okay, it's 9 bars dot 79, so 369, so it's okay. So in order to draw 10 bars, so 10 bars divided by 11, you need to reach to 90.9%. So you need to reach to the 99, so more or less 91 to draw 11. And the problem is that the last bar will be drawn only when you reach to 100%. So only when you reach to the top it will be drawn. Okay, I think that it works fine, so it does what is expected. So I think that how we can mm, go back and remove this behavior. So how to switch it in and out. So we have added the percentage steps. So the percentage steps is here. So in some way, if I don't want to use it, how can be done? So I can, okay, if I don't provide the value, the percentage steps will be 0. 0 if I do not provide anything. And if I provide 0, it will give you an error here because you cannot divide by 0. So let's use that if. Okay, so let's use this in its own vari variable. So steps. Okay, if steps is lower or equal to 0, no, I think it's greater than 0. Only in that case, modify the percentage behavior. If not, use as it was. So right now with 11 steps. So let me go back to 50%. That with the new behavior, it's drawing only five elements. With the old behavior, it draws 5.5. So let me provide here 0. So we don't want to draw using the steps, so we want to draw linearly. So it will draw 5.5. So, okay, with the steps you can modify the behavior, and instead of do a continual update of a progress bar, you can do a progress by steps, step by step, and only when you reach the next step, a new element is drawn. So this is how it works. So okay, I think it's nice. It works. It's nice. If you by mistake you write here incorrect information instead of 11, of course it will not work correctly. So if we provide only 3, for example, we draw part of the elements, and, and it's not the right way. So you need to provide here what you have drawn. So if you have included 11 steps, you need to provide here. If you do not provide this value, it will be a continuum. So we have these 4, so we can control which is the, so for example, let's do a different one. The full bar could be the 2, and let's do the empty is this one. So this is just for fun. So you are changing the color, so you use 2 full bars. So this is a different behavior. So you have, when you fill it, instead of have empty elements, you have the elements, you are changing the color of the elements because you are using 2 full fillet bars. So you can do whatever you want with the picture. So it's very easy. With some maths, you can control 2 pictures, drawing one on top of the other, and it's more or less like providing this behavior. So let's move on. So what's more for today? Interact. We have created a progress bar component. We are drawing the progress bar, and we want to animate it. So let's add some input. So this is the percentage. Right now we are providing it here. Here. So where? Here. We are provided it in a static way. So we want to provide some elements or some information just to some actions. So let me think what we can add. Some easy steps just to add here. So the easy one is just to have a static value. So we can have here a private float that, okay, we don't need it. We have the percentage, so the percentage is correct. good one, so percentage is a good one. So let me add here a percentage increment that will be 0 dot, let's do very small because time flies. And let's add here an action that we call later to increment percentage. So we will call this action. When we call this action, this percentage plus we will add this increment. So just incremented it. So we are going to increment and return true. Okay, so very simple. So let's move to the events. The events that we have here. Let me check. No, not secret. It's we here. Resources. Scene. Okay, here. Okay, we have a lot of rules here. They are doing all the stuffs about moving doing anything. So moving the windows and doing a lot of things. So what we want is just that. Okay, that when time. Okay, when the draw tick time. So let me check. There is a tick draw update. Tick draw update. Let me find it. So okay, when it's in load, this one no. Okay, I don't remember. I think it's every 50 milliseconds, or I don't know, 60 milliseconds. This event is fire, the tick draw update. So we will use it just to update the percentage. So when the system, when the game tries to draw again the frame, to draw a new frame, to draw the window, all the windows, the scene, what we want to do is we want that this one, the progress bar. So the progress bar, we want that the progress bar, the component that we have created, the progress bar. So in the package component, the progress bar class, and it has a method that we have created, increment percentage. So we want to increase the percentage. We don't need this one. And okay, this is just percentage incremented. Okay, so whenever the system tries to draw, it will call this method here, and this method will increase the percentage. So it will be very fast. Oh no. So let me change the progress bar to use a smooth transition, not steps. And let's try it. I will need to adjust the percentage. Okay, it's too. Oh, okay. So you can see how it's filled. Mm, I think there is some strange behavior. I don't know why between the two pictures. So they are flipping, but you can see how it's filled. So let's try with the empty bar. So the empty bar was 0, 1, for example, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 3, the number 3. So let's use the 3. It's here to see how it's draw, how it's filled. Strange. Okay, it's filled. I don't know what what will happen when it reach more than 100%. So I don't know. Okay, it's plus more than 100%, so it's doing nothing. I don't know why it's doing this strange movement. Hmm. Strange, very strange. Okay, let's do it using the steps. So using the steps. So using the steps in the same way, it will be filled, but step by step, so element by element. So till it needs to reach 10% just to draw the first one, the second one. So it's progressing the same way, but it's only drawing full elements. So you need to reach to the next amount of percentage in order to draw the next element. So it's working fine. So you can provide externally the percentage to the progress bar component, and it will draw the progress bar in the way that you have configured step by step or in a continuous way. So whatever you want. So and you have the progress bar. So I think that's nice. It's working. So we have a progress bar, so you can change it, or you can define a new progress bar, so you can do anything. So it's very easy just to change. So you have draw more of them. So the full is one, no, zero. This is one. So you can change it. So you can create more of them. So whatever you want. It's very nice. I like the step. The step. Yes, filling with steps is very nice. It's elegant. So good effect. I like it. How it's feeling. And it's not doing strange things when the percentage is over down one. I can try. I can try just doing just to check what will happen if the progress bar is negative, so it's below zero. Just to check if it breaks, if it breaks or no. No, it's at zero. It's only drawing the empty one. So it seems that the draw functions um, are taking care of incorrect values about negative values of the origin. So providing negative percentage is not impacting the behavior, and you see a nice progress bar empty. Okay, another one that we can use is that it's that starting we can start with a full progress bar. So if the percentage is 1, so we can drain it. So okay, it can be done. So you can start with 100%, so with a full bar, and just empty it. So if you start with a fillet bar and you subtract percentage, this is a regressive, so it's okay. It works. It works. It's very nice. Okay, so it's done. It's done. It's done. Animate the progress bar is done, and we have. Okay, this is from the previous live programming session to add the keypad events, but I think that almost is all for today. So it works very nice, and I like it. So What is pending is just to create a different scroll bar, so you can add more of them, whatever you want, with the elements that you want, hmm and just use in the projects. So we will integrate this progress bar in the secret. So secret, we will use it. hmm Here, yes. I think that for secret we have different windows, and I want to use this one just for something about updating some viruses or something like that. So I don't know. The last time we added this keypad, so we will add that maybe just a timer for the login. So in order to solve the puzzle, you have some opportunities. So maybe we can use the bar just to say, okay, this is the the time limit that you have, so it can be shown in another window just to be a regressive countdown. And yes, it could be nice to have that one. Okay, I think that it's all for today. So thank you for listening and watching this session. Okay, and have a nice day. See you in next live programming session. Okay, see you. Bye bye.